Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. I'm here with Ona from Ona's Tarot. Hi, Ona.
Hi.
And Jibs, he's taking a little nap on. Oh,
So it says he has been all about himself. It's just kind of the time of day. So he usually eats around this time, and I had to give him halvesies. And then it's just really too cold for him to go outside, and he's being a big baby about it
about not getting what he desires.
because he won't
Well,
wear his fancy sweater.
well, we're here tonight for Moon Shadows, Moon Shadows. And we're going to be doing the new moon in Sag,
Yeah.
a sign that you're very familiar with, Ona.
Yeah, I have definitely a bunch of couple of planets, Venus,
Yeah.
Mercury, in
Mhm.
Sag. What
South
else?
South Node, darling.
And my South Node, yeah. So I like Sag.
Yeah, yeah.
I like Sag. And this is a good new moon because I think we get a break because there's another new moon at the end of the
I don't know if anybody might consider right now a break of any sort. However, this is a new moon of vision and visualizing. And so if you don't like what you're seeing, it's time to start seeing something different, methinks.
Yeah,
Things.
yeah.
Sage is about what we believe to be true. And many of us have had that our beliefs challenged. I was just having this conversation with my husband, Michael, and I said, it's just dispiriting when you live your life, pretty much with the idea, prima non nocere, first not to harm, right? That's what we say when we become a chiropractors. First, not to harm, to help people and to be a good person, right? And then what we see in the outer world is that being a good person when it comes to certain things doesn't seem to matter.
No, we
And
gotta.
I and I, of course it does matter because even if man's karma doesn't, if man's law doesn't come down, cosmic law is going to come down, and hopefully we get to see it. Hopefully we get a front row seat and it doesn't cause too much pain for us, honestly. But
Yeah,
we're going to see. We're going to see what happens with all of that. But this is a visionary new moon,
yeah.
and it is actually we have the new moon at 10 of Sag, and it's um uh, sorry,
A goddess. What was
Mercury. Mercury's retrograde. Can you tell? I couldn't get it out of my mouth.
Mercury's retrograde, and the ruler of the new moon is also retrograde.
That's right.
So
And the ruler, of course, is Jupiter. And Jupiter is opposite this new moon and opposite Mercury.
yes,
Um, and we also have a T square from Saturn um, to the opposition between the new moon and Jupiter. So this is, in a way, I feel like a new vision for moving forward, a new vision to sort of like we've come to understand who we aren't, I guess. And I'm speaking, of course, America and the country, or well, who we thought we were, maybe we weren't. And now it's time to decide who we are, to who we are, and then act accordingly, right? Act
yeah.
accordingly. If you want a country where fairness is important, then it has to be important in your life. Either you have to be fair to others, or you have to stand up for people treating you fairly, I think.
So that is what like brings me back to I know that I have in the past on my channel the Wicked obsession. And if people haven't seen it, see it. It is in
It's
theaters
wicked,
now, not
isn't
just the play. So you could see it, and I'm sure soon you'll be able to see it at home. That will change your perspective and what you believed about the whole story. It's so connected to this new moon in Sag. And that is kind of the idea, treating people the way you want to be treated.
It's
It-
the feminine. It's the
yeah,
last year it was Barbie. This year it's Wicked.
you got to do this. You got to do this. Yeah, highly recommend it. And bring tissues. And it is about this whole new moon idea. It changes what you believe. See what he does? I'll
Oh,
go, I'll go get him.
is he barking?
No, he's screaming at me. Let me just get the dog. He's such a bad dog. I don't sit down.
He's such a good boy.
Straight to the door. I don't know. He's just gonna have one of his spells if he isn't sitting on my lap. I thought I could let him go.
At least you get your exercise and your weightlifting, lifting him.
They're in good shape.
So, do you want to look at the chart first? We'll look at the chart first. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think I'm going to use just the chart.
Yes. It's
Um, I just did a week ahead for the first week of December,
yeah.
and that I go pretty deep. Well, I have pretty pictures anyway for that,
What
but
was the Sabian symbol? I can't remember, and I know it was got something I should have written it down. But I
no, it's
don't.
okay. I have the access. I'll just pull that one up, and then it's prettier anyway. I just have to find where I put it. Okay, here we go. All right, just give me a moment, and I will find it. Okay. All righty. My computer's a little slow. I know how it feels.
Is it chilly outside?
Everything just seems to be taking longer than it should. And of course that could be Mercury retrograde as well. So, but I don't know. Things feel very heavy right now, I think. I'm feeling heavy.
Yeah, I think it's the solar flare thing too. I think it's been really, it's unusual to have auroras at this time this far south. I haven't seen, we've been cloudy since like 10 minutes before we started the video. There was a little bit of sun, but not much. It's been that kind of gloomy, sort of feeling dense, anger.
A
Uh,
lot of anger.
yeah, I think that sort of backed off because I'm not being real social and sticking my neck out there because I have too much of a strong opinion right now.
Yeah, yeah. So here's the new moon, the Sabian symbol, a golden haired goddess of opportunity, disregarding society's definition of success. Says fame and fortune is the powerful goddess whom we serve unless we free ourselves from the illusion that she provides happiness, finding our own definition of what success is.
Wicked.
That's a powerful vision to have with this new moon.
Yeah.
And in the US, because this is a chart for Washington, D.C., we have a 29-degree ascendant, which is, of course, in Virgo, excuse me, 29 of Virgo, which is Gemini rule, Gemini's retrograde.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like going back with this. Here's the new moon here, conjunct Mercury retrograde, and the ruler of this new moon, Jupiter retrograde. So there's a lot of this retrograde going back over things. And then, of
By the time the next new moon occurs, will both of those, I know Mercury should be
course, Mercury will be direct on the full moon.
so
Um,
okay, so it'll be 2 weeks in, and then
and then, but Mars,
Jupiter is gonna still be retrograde,
yes,
right?
yes, I think Jupiter's retrograde into 2025, I think. But Mars is going to be retrograde, and that's retrograde until February 23rd. So all the Mars retrogrades are long Mars retrogrades.
That's a weird one too.
But it's split between Leo and Cancer. Both of which, Mars in Leo functions pretty well, but tends to be overly dramatic, perhaps. And Mars in Cancer struggles anyway, with the Mars energy. Cancer doesn't like to confront things, and sometimes you can, eat yourself up with that. But when a planet's retrograde, it is pointing in the opposite direction, and with Mars pointing in, say, in the direction of Capricorn, which is the opposite sign, I think it's going to be more productive than most people may give it credit for. And I find Mars in Cancer anyway to be very productive Mars. It's just that there can be a lot of frustration with it. They make the best house cleaners. I know that. The white tornado was probably a Mars in Cancer. Um, so we do have also this T square here, right? There's a T square. There's Saturn squaring this new moon and squaring Jupiter. Saturn and Jupiter have been in a square for a while now. And this is part of that Saturn Jupiter cycle that started in 2020 at 0 of Aquarius, right? So there's that. We're at a crisis in action square with those two. And those crisis in actions is the sense that we have to take an action in order to survive or survive and build upon whatever society we want to create, because we're dealing with the two social planets. So this is really, in a way, this whole situation, I think, with the election is a way for us to really, really come to an understanding of who we want to be, of who we want to be. What do we want to represent? Remember, the United States is a Sag rising, if you go by the Sibley chart.
Yeah, big
Um,
goals,
yeah.
big goals.
Yeah, and freedom, right? It's freedom. This is about freedom. People don't like to be told what to do. You have Sag South Node. How good are you at when people tell you what to do?
Not very, not very. I think I wrote the book on oppositional defiance. I'm like, tell me, that's why I recognize it so well.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
It's, tell me what I'm supposed to do and watch me change it. Uh-huh.
And of course, the vibration of the day is the world, which is Saturn card. And there we have Saturn, being part of this whole configuration. And along with a grand trine in fire with Mars, the North Node, and this new moon. And so this really is an opportunity to put your energy in the direction of what you want to see and be you. Like the thing about the North Node in Aries is the North Node in Aries says, be you. You be you, and I'll be me. And we won't disagree. I think it's Libra that brings up the disagreement, because Aries, I think, for the most part, just wants to do their own thing and just don't bother me. I'll be fine. Like, that's Aries. I call them the self-cleaning ovens of the zodiac. They don't need nobody. Then Libra makes all these rules, and then we have problems.
Mhm. Yeah.
And of course, the South Node is in Libra, right? And so a lot of the laws that we thought were laws, we've come to realize, well, they're not actually laws. They're not actually written in the book that you have to be a good person and you can't you can't like. So we're getting certainly a Eiffel, perhaps
Yep.
an eyeful of Pope sometimes. Eyeful all the same.
Honestly, right? I
Oh, goodness gracious. All right. So I'm gonna
scrolling this whole thing and looking for an answer that is already there, but I can't find
Well, this is how I look at it. Wherever you, and I'm just gonna jump out of here because we can pull some cards now, and talk about the altar that we want to build. Um, I, there's so much, like, it's already there. It's already there. It's just that there's a veil, and we have to like, you can't solve the problem here.
Mhm.
You have to go above the problem. That's what Einstein said. And I feel that's and a vision. And for those of us who I came up with this the other yesterday or today, the thought went into my mind, which of course if thoughts float into my mind, I usually don't take credit for them because I figured something up there telling me. Um, but it's like we we have the power to co-create. And when people like us see a different picture and then reality comes and says, no, that's not, you're not seeing what, and we're like, but we saw it. We saw it.
Mhm.
It's like we're the holders of the vision. And that's part of that Sag energy, to hold the vision.
Mhm.
Sag is a very future oriented energy, the great adventure, like, you know. So I
That's
think,
all you have when you're a centaur, I guess, is really the vision. You know,
well,
all
yeah,
you can do is think of where you're pointing that,
where are you pointing that arrow?
where
Yeah,
are
and
you
that's the
pointing it?
question. Where are you pointing the arrow? Do you want to waste your time pointing the arrow at somebody that maybe you don't want to see take office? Or would you rather point your arrow in the direction of your greatest dreams and aspirations and see where it falls? See, we don't get what we want, but we certainly get what we need,
Yeah,
and at least have an aim. So this is an opportunity for us to really say, this is the last day on earth. What do I want my world to look like? And then
yeah,
just go in that direction. And of course, it's not the last day on earth, but every moment is a new opportunity to create something new. And on the tree of life, the path of uh, Sag is right here between Tippereth, which is the heart, and East Side, which is the sacral area. But it is the path of the mystic. So all you mystics out there, you got to clock in.
so the
It's
solar
time.
plexus awareness.
Well, it's sacral and heart. It goes over the solar plexus, right? It goes actually, like, this is the solar plexus here, but
Okay.
this is like direct. This is the path of the mystic, straight up to spirit. And so we need to focus and connect with that, so we can have a vision for the future. And then at the end of the month, we're going to have the new moon in Capricorn, and then we can start building the future. But I think we need a vision first.
So I gotta get giblets again.
Yeah, I know.
So the
I
next
know.
new moon
I
in,
know where you were going.
he's just such a brat.
Well, he wants to go out and go, do his
And
thing.
then you send me videos of bulldogs being brats. I'm like, I know. It's like you cursed the video.
I'm sorry, I won't do it anymore.
They're
But they're so cute and they make those noises.
they're just such narcissists. There. That's it. That's it. That's
So let's talk a little bit about what what magic we're gonna create with this altar this month, this new moon. Were you saying something about fennel?
yes. Every time he sits on my lap. maybe that's the signal he's sending me because he wants to go outside. And he hasn't pooped yet today, but, and especially in this time where you might start to use food as a way to self-soothe because, you know, Thanksgiving is a heightened anxiety, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people had to deal with really bad weather too,
Oh
which
my God.
as somebody who's always pretty much, or not recently, but used to always have to travel like across a bunch of states,
Yeah,
spend Thanksgiving with my family. It's no joke when the weather's bad. It really increases
it's,
the stress.
it is not. I've driven in the mountains in snowstorms and it is very, very scary.
Now, we're talking about fennel to make as a tea,
Yeah.
perhaps. It's good for the stomach.
And the most like benign, easiest, you don't have to like steep it in the sun for 45 days kind of thing, is tea. Just
Yeah,
tea.
yeah, yeah.
A bunch of fennel seeds. It's okay if you can crush them and put them in a pretend tea bag, or if you have a tea ball, just to help the digestive system run across that line.
Yeah, it helps with gas. And one of the reasons that people have so much gas is not so much what they eat, which certainly can contribute, but is swallowing air.
Yeah.
When we're anxious, we're like,
Mm-hmm.
and that gasses us up. So it would help with
Yep.
that. And I think any kind of like nervine, like sleepy tea, something with valerian root, that might be also good. If you guys aren't getting much sleep right now, it might be a good idea, if you can have something like a nice sleepy time tea, something with that, or even, for those of you who take sleep aids like gummies and different things like that. It's very
A
helpful.
good time for the to augment that level of awareness too.
Yeah, yeah, you
Not a
need,
psychic dreamer or have consistent dreams that make sense. I remember segments of them. I've had a few like real life kind of things. In meditation or astral travel or whatever kind of beats I'm listening to, and whatever happens when I sort of meditate, I don't remember the entire thing, but just little pieces of it. It's a good time to get, um, to listen to even the little messages and to get that kind of sleep where you allow those messages to be floating in.
yeah,
Because those kinds of things do open channels. Valerian root comes from, or Valium
right,
comes from valerian root.
right.
So it's an endorphin releasing, right?
Yeah,
And that's when your mind settles
relaxes the
down.
nerves. Yeah,
You can listen to yourself,
yeah.
see what the ambulance.
Um, and I feel like, at least now for me, I'm awake and I'm asleep. Like there's no, it's
Yeah.
like I go from waking to sleeping like this now. Like this morning when I got out of bed at 3:30 or something like that, and I'm like, 3:30 is a little early, but I said, well, let me lay back down. So I laid back down a little bit longer, but I was awake. So I said, well, I'll get up then. But like at 9 o'clock at night, you can't find me. I'm like out like a light somewhere, wherever I might be. I might be sleeping. So, which is different for me. I'm not usually like that. So I feel like that's the energy. Really, it's like you're on and you're off. And
Oh, for sure.
one of the other things about this new moon in Sag is, it's a fire sign, and Aries and the North Node in Aries is all about like focusing on yourself, really. Like your,
Part of the time, right?
hmm?
This is part of the grand trine.
Yes, yeah, and of course Mars is part of that too. And it's what in this for this new moon, it's not quite retrograde, but it's slowing down to stop, and that builds the energy. And then Mars in Leo retrograde is in charge of the North Node, and then we actually have the North Node move into the next set of signs, which is the North Node in Pisces,
Mm.
South Node in Virgo, while Mars is retrograde, which is interesting.
In February,
January, I think.
in January.
It's January, yeah.
So much stuff is happening between now and then. You can
It's
go,
unbelievable. I got to tell you guys,
oh my God.
I have to tell you, I did that week ahead and I was like, oh my God. Actually, I said, holy shit, is what I said. I was like, whoo, this is going to be an intense month. It's
Yeah. That's why I really don't want to like pour everything I have into um what might happen over the next 4 years. I'm like
yeah, no, I'm
days.
not. No, absolutely not. Yeah, yeah. You know, what's going to happen is
Whoa.
going to happen. And we have to figure out when we know what's going to happen, when it happens, we'll know what's going to happen when it happens. And then we'll have an idea of what we're going to do. We can start to make plans. We can start to think about how we might have to do things a little differently. But that's okay. You know, you have to adapt. There's so much mutability in the sky. It's not just all this fire, but we have Gemini and we have Pisces and we have Sagittarius. That's all signs that are talk about mutation and change. So and then the nodes are going to move into the mutable signs, right? From the cardinals, which are about initiating a change, right? Or initiating something new. And then we have the nodes going into the mutables, which will be about the change and the process of that, the letting go, the healing, the dealing with the details, you know, all that kind of stuff is going to be it's going to be an interesting, whatever happens, it's going to be interesting for us because we're creating our own reality in a way while keeping our feet firm.
Oh, there's a lot of all the astronomy stuff and the James Webb and discovering other planets and stuff. How do you feel about astrology kind of changing based
Well,
on these extra planets and things that, or is it just time to start tracking
I
other
think
stars?
those planets, um, you know, they have significance if they're close to a personal planet for you. But they spend so much time in signs that it's more in from what I can see. And you might, I think one of those when those outer planets, the outer ones, the ones that they're talking about now, when they connect to your chart in a way, it'll probably show a theme in your life. But I almost feel it's more like the story of humanity than it is my story necessarily. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, as soon as we can see it with our eyes, our consciousness expands. So, yeah, we're becoming conscious co-creators. That's why it's so very important not to waste all your precious energy. Get over the fact that maybe you're not getting things exactly the way you want them to, and reinvent, right? I mean, the election happened in the lunation cycle of Scorpio, which is about death and rebirth. So I think we're all dying to the old and being reborn to the new. I certainly the Democratic Party has had a come to Jesus moment, and the Republican Party is destroying itself. So you know, we're going to come out the other side of this with a whole different I don't know, a whole different all new possibilities maybe.
Yeah. And there's a lot going on between now and the next one. So hang on tight.
So we were also talking about sodalite as a my crystal I chose was sodalite. It's for
Your
the
crystal was sodalite.
yeah, I think I have a few.
Mine has been kunzite, and I have a piece that I've had for a long time. And it's right here.
I have mine. Look, I have it on my I had it on my altar.
Kunzite?
Yeah, insight. It's like it's like a heart chakra stone, but it's very fine.
Kunzite?
Yeah. Is that what you're thinking, or are you thinking of kyanite?
No, that's what I'm thinking. So
Mhm.
I have a piece that is kind of a museum piece that is in my, collection that's kind of all over the place.
Wow, that's beautiful. Look at the
Yeah,
beautiful pink. Oh my God.
it's actually kind of a honey color.
That's gorgeous, Ona.
And it is like, and I paid a lot for it like
I know you did.
40 years ago.
This little piece wasn't cheap, and it's only that big. Certain
Yeah.
stones are, way more expensive.
I got this, and actually I was living in San Francisco, and there was somebody who I learned a lot of this from, who I studied with or under actually, and then bought a bunch of stones, and she had these pieces that were insane. And then that was my introduction to Moldavite,
Oh boy, yeah.
and that was intense. So I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, Moldavite. I can't always wear Moldavite. I can now, but it's interesting. I didn't used to be able to wear it because it would get me like all like out of I would be like disoriented.
Mhm.
And then I had the reconnection. Michael learned how to do the reconnection, so he
Yeah.
reconnected me. And all of a sudden I could wear Moldavite. In fact, I wear it often.
Yeah. I
And
always have it on.
I haven't gotten dizzy from it ever
Yeah.
since. But it's
That
such
happens if I have earrings. And I have a few earrings. One is like a geometric, like a diamond faceted.
yeah.
And it makes me dizzy.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
in
I would
between
imagine.
my ears here.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear Moldavite that high. I wear it on my high heart.
Yeah.
Wear it right here.
I have a ring, I have a piece, but I have a collection because I was absolutely obsessed with that stone
Yes.
when that
Yeah.
started. And I wish I had gotten more. I wish I got more.
Well,
Now you,
your wish is the universe's command, remember?
yeah, but I don't, now I have to like you see the piece with a loop to know if it's real, kind of thing.
Well, you never know what the universe is going to drop in your lap.
That's
So,
interesting.
I thought maybe I could pick a few cards.
Yes.
You, would you like to do that too, as well?
What do you want to ask the curse?
Um, just what we need to be aware of through this new moon cycle, perhaps. Just a little preview, perhaps.
What we need to be aware of.
Yes, I like that. That's always my favorite question. What do we need to be aware of? When I don't know what other question to ask, I ask that question. Oh wow, look, oh my God, this is so funny. I have I have a card from a different deck sitting in
There
this
it is.
cards, the Hierophant,
The rules.
wisdom. All right, let's put that. I'll put that
Shiva,
where
girl,
that
that's Shiva.
belongs. That was weird. I was like, why is the
Yeah,
card
Shiva.
not fitting in and it was sticking up?
Because that's the soda light color, and that's gotta be,
Is that Shiva?
that's Shiva.
I think so, right? I think so.
Yep.
And is Shiva the destroyer?
God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the big one.
Yeah. Put him over here. I have Ganesh over here too. So my
Oh,
add Shiva to
yeah,
the
I
card.
like Ganesh.
Yeah.
I like
That's my birth of the new age. And I did Ganesh. I put him down at the bottom of the tree where it would normally like be the energy of giving birth. So ease of labor pains, so to speak.
You had a great card. So I pick what do we need to be aware of and where we are and how do we maybe one card for how do we get there or what do I need to do? What do I do? That question you ask every morning, what do I need to do?
Do I need to know? What do I need to do?
What
What
do I need to
see?
know?
This is the heads up. I got the Seven of Pentacles, which is about tending to your garden. Um, just continue to apply yourself. You're not quite ready for prime time, but it's coming.
Like that.
The Two of Swords. This is an interesting Two of Swords because we have this woman with two swords behind her back, and she's got these wolf, I think one wolf, two wolves. Hold on.
See, and this is how we probably feel right now, where we are right now. We're like,
Yeah, not quite feeling safe, but prepared and ready if we need to act, perhaps. Now we don't know if this wolf is her something she needs to be afraid of, or it's a familiar. And wolves always indicate wisdom and the teacher. So maybe it's time for the teacher to come out. The Knight of Swords, taking action on your
something's
what's
happening quickly. Yeah.
yeah, true, what's
Mhm.
true, things happening quickly. Lovers, choices, give and take. Gemini. And one more, the King of Cups. That's interesting.
Christmas, Santa. It's
Yeah.
always my Santa kind of thing. I know it's Neptune,
Well,
but
it's like the family, it's like it's actually a Cancer vibration, this card and the system that I use. So, um, the family, love, coming together. I think it speaks of being prepared for anything. If you need to take an action, you will take an action. But I think it's really about the choices we make around relationship, maybe in these cards. So what did you get, Donna?
I got for what do we need to be aware of? I got the Ace of Earth and she's digging through some seeds.
So
So
look at these two cards. They're different cards, but they're doing the same thing. Look at that.
watch where you're planting. Look at that. Yeah.
Right?
Watch where you're planting your seeds. This is probably a message of like plant some seeds,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You got some winter grow to do. This is the time to plant some seeds because that's exactly what she's doing. She's sorting out the good ones from the bad ones and they're ready to grow. That's
And
pretty cool.
that may also be a great, like, little magical thing to do is to get a seed of something that you want to plant and
Yeah.
put your intentions in it. Plant it and then nurture the seed and watch the seed grow and watch it grow into something. And I think that's going to give us more hope for the future because Sag really is the most optimistic sign in the zodiac. It just
Yeah.
survived Scorpio. No wonder it's optimistic.
And the chariot, so fast movement,
Oh, moving fast, moving
moving
fast.
fast.
Okay, here we go. Two moving fast cards. Yeah, things are
And
moving.
yeah, she's
Okay.
really paying attention to, she brought her cats with her and the cats. So
Oh
like,
no. Is that a childless cat lady I see?
She is, and she's driving along. Remember, I said those roads that when it's snowing are pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
It looks like the Pacific Coast Highway to me, but go
Yep,
ahead.
and the roads are clear.
Ooh,
So things that are happening quick, and what can we do about it? And it says really stay curious. Curiosity of air or the page.
okay.
And
Keep
maybe some things we thought were true are going to get cut up, and it might be some more discoveries or things that we thought were out there, and they're to make space for something else. Stay curious.
stay curious.
Yeah, I like that. I'm good with that.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to, unless you have an oracle card. Do you have an oracle card handy?
I don't have an Oracle deck handy because I have tried to clear some space for my Christmas themed art that has taken up the other side of this table for um for work. I don't have an Oracle card handy. I can get one out of the clock.
Okay. Do you mind? It's always nice to wrap things up with an.
All right here. Which one do you want to do?
The fact that you're a Capricorn and you have a clock table just cracks. Ooh, what do we have? Let's see.
Working with skin. Oh my God. Or my medium. My medium is skin. Oh, this is the one you gave me, the star seed. Why not? Because Sag is already all the way out there.
Yeah,
So,
huh? Woman who has her Venus and Mercury on the galactic center speaks.
you know, it's been a lot of,
Ona is a star seed, everyone.
I think that's why I have to sometimes stay out of public or away from
Yes, yes, yes,
you
yes, yes.
because it's like overwhelmed. Everybody's got bouncy things going on, and it's like anger. I didn't know, I didn't have any other way to describe how the vibe was holding itself this past week. And I thought odd because it was a week of cups.
Mhm.
But
But
that
I think it's that grand trine and fire. That's what we're feeling. The grand.
yeah, it seemed like, is that the emotion that's going to be the most popular this week? That's not good. That's not good.
Well, righteous
Right?
anger is a powerful force. People get angry enough, they act. And maybe that's part of the lesson.
So this is water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. So whatever kind of seeds you have from your year, from your summer harvest, from the squash you made for Thanksgiving, stick that on your altar. You
Mhm.
should have an altar full of seeds and beans.
Seeds and beans.
It seems like it's the thing that is really heightened there is, I know that plants don't need water. I don't know if they're trying to tell me something, but it's really time to put those long range goals, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
shoot for the stars, guys. Shoot for the stars. Don't nothing less than shooting for the stars because we'll end up falling. We may not reach where we're looking, but wherever we end up, I think it's going to be worth the trip.
Oh, for sure.
All right, fellas, gals, people, animals, spirits,
Sleeping.
guides, everybody. It's been great. We will see you next time on Ona's channel for Moonshine, right around that full moon in Gemini, which is right on Trump's nodes and Kamala's nodes. And Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hang in there.
Hang in there, guys. All right. Take care of yourselves, please. Self-care, self-care, self-care. It really is all about you.
Yeah.
All right, Ona, thanks for being with me. We love you.
Thank you, thank you,
See
thank
you
you.
again. Namaste. Oh, Mystic Sisters, tomorrow
Saturday.
night, the 30th, November
Yes.
30th, on Ona's channel, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. We'll meet you. Take care, everyone.